sir?
I got the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Vaughn up in the house. How you doing, Luke?
Oh, Andrew, Logan. Wow, it's a pleasure, brother. It's a pleasure. I'm having flashbacks, Orange County, 2013 vibes.
You already know, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. We were just talking right now about Twitter, and you were asking me about my Twitter.
Well, I didn't realize you were the first person to get banned. Andrew Logan.
I could be. I really do think so.
Ahead of the curve by a mile.
You know, you can call me a trailblazer, you know what I'm saying?
I would.
But what happened was I had a Twitter for a long time. Like I was telling you, my brother saved a whole bunch of my tweets. Like one of them was like JUCOs where white chicks go to get knocked up and pregnant. I just had the weirdest tweets, but they were funny. Like farm girl white chicks.
Well, what do you think got you banned? What do you think? Like, do you remember getting like the notification? Like, damn, no more Twitter.
No, it was locked out. I was locked out, and I tried for probably a week. Like I said, this is back in 2014, and I just haven't been able to get back in. It was DrewLow9. If you look up DrewLow9, that was my Twitter handle. But enough about my Twitter.
We got to get you back, bro.
Yeah. I got one for the podcast. I think it's Drewcast podcast. I'll look it up real quick. But before the end of the show, I'll have it up. I'll put it in the show link too, and I'll also put your Twitter handle as well.
I'm active on Twitter. I think, and it's interesting you got banned because they're going through that whole. The former regime, former people working for Twitter were just banned and random accounts, like
I know, right?
Funny accounts and stuff. So it's like it's interesting. It's very timely. I'm like, yo, it might be a sign for get you back because I just think Twitter, especially for creators, I think it's going to be super powerful in the next whatever like iteration of the internet kind of is.
I never thought of that until right now, until you said that, because the truth is. It is going to be more powerful because you can speak your mind on Twitter now that Elon's taken over. And so not a lot of places you can. YouTube you can't.
No.
Like you can, but I'm going to have to edit it if you say anything about or any of those kind of topics.
I know you have to be super careful with language on some of these platforms. And I think that's why I really rock with Twitter. I wasn't very active on Twitter for a while. But in the last couple of years, I've definitely upped the Twitter output and just like, because I would always scroll through it and think it was like you said, funny, sports, but it was like real ideas going back and forth is what always drew me to it. I was like, oh, this is what people really think. You know, I like Instagram just to like scroll or whatever. I mean, we all use social media, right? And Twitter to me just seems like where you actually get people's thoughts. Like writers, artists, comedians, like you get like, what people's like collective conscious is. And I think Elon owning it is important for, like you said, like creators, especially for like myself, or just like the next wave of like thought, not having this group thought of like, oh, you have to think one thing, you have to listen to one thing, all of that stuff. I just think it's powerful. And I know you got a powerful mind. So I would love to see that on Twitter. Personally.
Respect, dude. I'll get on Twitter, dog. I'll start tweeting again, dude. I was addicted, but like I would say mine were dumb but funny tweets. But now I don't want to. There's part of me that just likes to shut off until I do podcasts. That's why I like to have a podcast, is because I can be like I can see some horse shit or whatever, and I'll have my own opinion of it. I can't talk to my wife about it anymore because she'll just be like, I don't want to hear it, or whatever. Like
she's just heard you. My girl's the same way. Like I'll go on these monologues where she's just heard it. That like she's like, you've talked about this. I'm like, no, but I feel this. It's like the passion. So
yeah.
You need that outlet, dog.
I agree. Well, look at you coming to the freaking studio. I didn't know how you would have your setup, and you got yourself a mic and a headset.
Yeah, dude, man.
You should start a podcast.
I mean,
I can teach you.
Teach me, bro. I don't know.
Will.
I've thought about doing like I've been making a lot of beats lately, so maybe like streaming that process, but it would be fun. I have this whole space down here. I used to have a loft back in LA, and now I'm in the Maha City, and I'm in the lab now, but it's good. It's good. I was like, I have to bring an official to the Drewcast. I have to.
Yes. No, and I'm stoked you're here, dude. I have a ton of questions about your time in LA. I don't know how deep we can go down those rabbit holes, but I'm gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I'll knock on some doors.
Yeah.
But Luke, tell the listeners about yourself real quick. Let them know who they're listening to.
Yeah, man. Luke Vaughn. I'll start back. I'm from Missouri originally, school at Arkansas, and then bounced to the West Coast like almost 10 years ago. Was out in LA doing underground art, doing music, kind of in the food scene, just all over. Had my hands kind of all over different places, but mainly in like the alternate hip hop kind of comedy. I had a bunch of interesting intertwined networks, and then COVID happened, and we were just like, yo, I don't know about California, blah blah blah. So 2021 bounced to Denver. And we've been here since then. So this is where the main thing is. We doing music. I also have a digital marketing company that started after the pandemic, so we can check that out if we want to later, called WinRay Media. We run websites, social media, all those type of copywriting needs, anything creative. And then Alter Records is my music label that I put out Luke Vaughn music through. So yeah, man.
Come on, baby.
Let's go.
I got the Missouri J-Rock up in the house, dude.
Missouri J-Rock.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Trailer Park Boys, but he's their go-to guy when it comes to rap, music, all that. So you're J
dude, this
to
is
the
the second
ROC, baby.
This is the second time Trailer Park, but I gotta say, like, I miss a lot of TV references because I just don't watch that much TV.
That's
but
good.
This is the second time in a week somebody's mentioned Trailer Park Boys to me, so I'm like, yo, I might have to be dialed into this. I've heard good things about it. I've heard very good things about it. But I don't know anything about it.
I've listened to, or I've not listened. I've watched Trailer Park Boys. I started back in 2010, dude. Back when I was smoking weed heavy. It's a Canadian show that came out, and the creators, they were going to acting school, and one of their assignments was to come up with a skit. And so these three friends that were in that class, they came up with this short clip or whatever, and everybody laughed their ass off, all the students. And so what they did is they ended up just keeping the characters going. And then all of a sudden, Canadian TV picked it up, and then they started airing it just like every Friday night. And then out of nowhere, that got a ton of views. Season 1 did. And so then they came out with season 2, and then Netflix bought them after season 2. And then bam, all their creativity would go straight to Netflix. So they did like 12 seasons. Snoop Dogg got on it.
They got that bag.
Dude, yeah. Oh yeah. But the best part about it is it's like a very just a simple way of living. They always have no money. At the beginning of each season, they come up with a ploy to sell weed or hash oil or something.
Get the bag.
They're trying to get the bag by the end of every season, and they always go to jail. Sorry to, but it's funny. There's a whole bunch of characters in it. It's classic, dude. But
so I remind you of one of the characters. Is that what you're saying?
J to the ROC, man.
J to the ROC. Yeah. Do I need
this is what he says. I spin more rhymes than a lazy Susan, and I'm innocent until guilt is proven. So, yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, dude, he's hard as hell.
That's hard.
So tell me, Luke, I remember when you first came to Cali, my brother told me you were going to move in with us. We lived on 43rd Street down on the peninsula, which is like a block from the ocean. And I had been here maybe 7 months. Like I just got here, and this was back in 2012, I think, or maybe 2013.
Yeah, right on that. Like you probably moved out there 12. That makes sense. And then I was in the spring.
Spring of 13.
Spring of 13, and it was like, yo, Jeremy. I worked for Jeremy in Missouri. He went to college where I went to high school, and he played ball. I played ball, and we just vibed. And he was like, yo, if you ever want to crash on my couch, I didn't know what I want to do after school. I was like, kind of in between. I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then Jeremy was on One Connect in California. He was like, dude, you can crash on my couch. Do you find a spot in LA? Yada, yada. and I just did it, man. And you guys were super welcoming. That's a great memory for sure. Just like the start of like that California journey with y'all. It was a good, and then we met, and you were like, and you had the guitar out. I just remember like, damn, this fool can play guitar, man. And we vibed over. We were just vibing. It was a good vibe for like 2 weeks. And I found this spot in the hood in Silver Lake before, or not even Silver Lake. It was like Echo Park. I don't know if you ever visited that spot because it wasn't in Orange County. Jeremy, I think, did once.
Okay.
And that was living with Ronnie and Joe, and it was interesting. It was a cool little spot. But guess how much rent was back then? Now this is the hood, but it was a shared 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom?
Really 4, but it was 3.
Back in 2013 in the hood of LA.
East LA.
I would say $1,500.
Yep. It's $500 each. Or like, yep. And I think I paid $450 because I had upstairs, and it wasn't the master. It was like
check this out. So we moved away from that 43rd Street, and we moved to 50th Street, and we got a 4-bedroom beach house. I'm sure you remember
the house. I remember that house. Oh, yeah, that was a great house.
Oceanfront, legit as hell. It was a 4-bedroom.
Beautiful.
Guess what I paid a month for my room? Cheapest rent I've had.
$1,500.
$800 for my room.
What?
Yeah, Oceanfront.
That's a steal of the century.
Cheapest rent I've had in California was Oceanfront property.
Wow. That house was beautiful. Open windows. What I did like about that apartment in the hood, it has a huge ceilings. I'm a big high ceilings guy, especially in the city.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's just like it had great it was loft style. So that was rad.
Well, a cool thing, you moved to LA, and for everybody listening, Luke has always been a character. Like he wanted to get into acting, and he chased his dreams like the whole time he was out here, and he's still doing the damn thing. And so like I remember I took like headshots for you, like a little filming, I did that for my boy Lane Kendall too.
Yeah.
A lot of that. And did you ever get into any acting or get were you ever like what is it?
There's all sorts of acting. I got a few gigs, and then I was just connecting so hard with musicians and around musicians all the time. I started writing with dudes. But yeah, I got a couple commercials that were fun. I got a music video with Carly Rae Jepsen back in the day for like a 3-second cameo. So I worked gigs here and there, and then with like I valeted cars was one of my first gigs too, just to like hustling. And yeah, it was acting. I still like acting, but I was just around musicians all the time when I was up in LA. I was around like these cool guitar dudes.
I remember them.
Yeah, who were like producers, and then I got around some like dope rappers, underground West Side rap. I mean, we were like, it was like a wild collage of genres, and it was a cool, and like even like this experimental band, my homies like Blake and them at Fox Trails, like when I started working in like hanging out in Venice a lot, like on the West Side, like it was like really a split between our spot in Shenandoah, because I bounced around for a while, then got a spot in Shenandoah. It was like mid-city Beverly Hills area, and we called it Shenandoah Chateau. It was me and 2 guys that I had met like when I first got there. So it's like we had, run around, bounced to a few spots, came back to even like Irvine for a little bit, lived with Jeremy and did that whole thing, and then bounced back up, Studio City, blah, 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 and then, that Shenandoah spot was really kind of where a lot of magic happened, like post that. But yeah, it was acting, and it was almost the rise of YouTube and Vine and all those shorts. So it definitely been a journey, and I still think the best is yet to come. Of just like creativity wise, business wise, all that stuff. So yeah, I mean those early years definitely are special. Definitely looking back, like damn, that was it was almost 10 years ago. We in 2023 now. It's wild.
That era is over.
Totally. Oh, 100%. 100%.
That's the thing.
2019.
Yeah,
when it changed.
Yes. Yeah, like California kind of ended 2019, whenever it came to Hollywood creativity, and like it just shifted to podcast, it shifted to YouTube, it shifted to TikTok.
You got to give Netflix was a big shift too, right? Movie stars going to Netflix. It was just like how much the movies like didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Don't matter as much anymore. It's just like I feel like a movie back in the day, like in the theater, like I don't know, in the 90s when we were kids, it just seemed like Denzel is like Denzel, and
right.
And like I don't know, it's like there's still that era of movie stars. I just don't. Even Tom Cruise. Shout out Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Top Gun was amazing. And
Avatar.
I haven't seen Avatar too. I haven't
it's
heard
legit. I loved it. Yeah.
Okay. I heard it's long is the one kind of
People
drawback.
keep saying that, but like I didn't even notice how long it was because I just was enjoying it. Like I thought the movie started out with action. It's a good storyline, great way to pick up from the last one, and then boom, shifted to a whole different side of the world in Avatar, wherever the hell the planet's called.
Yeah,
and the motion pictures of that movie is just ahead of its league. So it was nice. I hadn't really gave a shit to go to the movies in a long time, and I went to that, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
but I knew Avatar was gonna be lit.
Yeah, that was gonna be lit. I got to see it. Me and my homie have been talking about that. We're like, oh, is it worth it? Because I have been. Again, back to Twitter. I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and like, you know, how Twitter was ragging it a little bit. So
That's why I unplugged, dude, because I can't stand everybody's goddamn opinion about everything. Like I could be like, hey man, this sparkling water kicks ass. It's from Kirkland, and then all of a sudden, say this was blowing up. Then all of a sudden, you know, the Kirkland CEO said something bad about a girl's weave, so he's racist, and let's cancel Kirkland, and it all of a sudden becomes everybody's damn opinion.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
No, totally.
And I once you start doing a podcast, which I believe you are going to, all there is opinions, which is what a podcast is. You know, everybody's opinion on things, but this is where I like to hear about it. But I definitely research and I definitely kind of keep up with what's going on, like Andrew Tate's arrest and how.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
I think maybe that's a setup, you know.
Well, we just don't know. Everybody, that's the thing. Like on Twitter, it was like, oh, he got owned by Greta Thunberg, and we don't really know. I mean, I don't know how ethical the Romanian government is, and the thing on Twitter, the open debate. That's the only platform he wasn't banned from, right? He was like completely canceled on Facebook, Instagram. He didn't post anything controversial. What's crazy about Andrew Tate is I saw that rise. Like I've been following that fool on Twitter for like 3 or 4 years. I don't agree with. I mean, I don't think this is everybody, right? I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says. Man, what is about the name Andrew? That's a powerful name, G.
Come on. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says either, but he also hits on some solid points about, you know, COVID-19, being scared of it, and then you know, being like a sheep, you know, just following orders all the time, and instead of thinking for yourself, and like
that was I was just gonna say. It's just like I think Andrew Tate's main point is don't turn off your brain.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And specifically young men don't turn off your brain. Like I do think there is this strange thing where there's they call it toxic masculinity or whatever. Just real men, masculine men in that archetype. And he speaks to, I think, young men, and the biggest reason he's we'll even say threat to kind of the system. And again, we don't know. These allegations are wild, right?
Right.
These
I
are
agree.
some wild stuff, but I don't know what the Romanian government ethically. I mean, you know, there's that whole thing. They're not known. I really don't really know that much about international politics, but it's always been rumored that it's just you can bribe people in Ukraine. That and officials and like the U.S. government and big tech might have put some pressure to, hey man, this dude's running his mouth like crazy, and he's like maybe he's really getting through because he went viral. He went just so crazy viral. You know, it's like he was a fringe dude on Twitter. You know, there's like these like Twitter, and he would like spar with people verbally, and then had all this content and just went crazy viral this year. So I don't know. It's just a wild thing that kind of just took over the internet, to be honest with you.
You know, I saw a video of him the other day, and I'm going to try to look it up. But basically, he says, there's three things that can happen to him after he got canceled the first time. Well, he's like, I'm upset because one of my lives is done. He goes, I get canceled, thrown in jail, and then they kill me.
Wow.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
What's crazy too is like the whole Epstein Island, all the celebrity, the list, Ghislaine Maxwell, how the media has not gone hard after that list. Like they're going crazy hard at Andrew Tate.
Yeah, they're going hard in the paint on that guy right now.
They're going like full. He's going to be way more famous after this though.
That's how it works.
It's infamy, right? It does how it works, but he's getting the best. I mean, not the best, but everybody in the world's talking about this dude now. Like even my mom asked about Andrew Tate. You know Andrew Tate? I was like, what? Mom knows about him?
You want to hear this?
Yeah, run it.
Because of how orchestrated it was. The only thing, and I'll state this at the beginning, the only reason I'm upset by being canceled is because I've expired one of my lives. Because first you get canceled, then they make up a reason to put you in jail, and if that fails, they kill you. So now I'm down to my last 2 lives, which is I knew it was coming.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, his dad was a chess player or a chess grandmaster, right? International master.
Yeah. His dad was a G.
His dad was a G.
Especially at chess. At chess, yeah.
And former military and was a spy that learned Russian. I mean, he's definitely a smart dude. He's articulate, and if he did like actually, human trafficking, I hope he gets
up.
It's like, well, it's just also crazy because it's like, why would he do that and like try to get as much attention as possible? It's like it's also if he got arrested. And it was super corrupt. That's really concerning as well. That they can just be told, like, you're not, they can just be like, yo, go get that guy. I mean, that's some Agent Smith Matrix. He talks about the Matrix all the time, and it's a good analogy of the time we're living in, I think. But
dude, that's true. That is some Agent Smith, Mr. Anderson.
We've come for you.
Yeah.
I mean, he plays that up, and it's funny because like the Matrix was written by the Wachowski sisters now, which is wild. You know that?
No.
The writers of The Matrix are transgender, male to female. Both
really?
of them. They're twins. Yeah, look it up. They used to be the Wachowski brothers, and now they're Wachowski sisters. No lie.
That is crazy.
But still, that movie is like definitely, I think, one of the most important movies, at least of my lifetime, like culturally and personally.
Yeah, even the movie what is it called, V for Vendetta.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I love that movie. Did they write that one too? I think
I don't know. All I know is in V for Vendetta, it basically lines up with the COVID narrative. Like, just watch that movie. Anybody listening, V for Vendetta, you watching, you'll be like, dang, this is
Natalie Portman.
Yes, exactly.
Dime piece.
Have I frozen on your end? Because you froze. Okay, good. You froze on mine, but I told my wife to get off Wi-Fi and stuff. Sometimes it just gets a little sketchy like that, but the recording should do just fine. But
it was all smooth on my end.
Good. That's a good thing. So
dude, they did write it.
They did.
Same writers of The Matrix wrote V for Vendetta.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, exactly. So, when you moved to LA, it was hilarious. Me and my brother, we went to your first comedy show because you were doing stand up, and I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, that was my first comedy show I had ever been to. And we waited for you to get up there, and there was some funny people and all that. And I always got to give you props because anybody who goes out of their comfort zone like that just to try, in my opinion, is a bold soul and a brave guy or brave woman. Anybody doing that kind of stuff. But I remember you had one joke. See, I still remember. And
wow.
It was what is the last thing a person sees when they're going on a roller coaster and it breaks and they're flying off? And you just started screaming. I think the joke was somewhere premised around something like that.
I think so. I don't think it. I remember that show very. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't think that got me laughs. I think I was just like screaming on stage to like a dead silent room, like, "Yo, is this kid funny or what's going on?"
Yeah.
What's crazy is like that fell in my lap. I met one dude at a show in North Hollywood, and he was like, "Yo, you're funny. You want to go up on the Comedy Store?" I'm like, I didn't know. I just moved there. I was like, "Sure. What's the Comedy Store?" They're like, "You've never heard of the Comedy Store?" I'm like, I had to look it up, and it's like this legendary comedy venue on Sunset Boulevard. And then I invited you guys up from Orange County. You guys came. That was super. I think John Kovacevic as well. Shout out John. I think he came. But yeah, that was like just fell into my lap. And it's funny because I have a lot of comedian homies, and I actually made music later during like the pandemic with dudes who do comedy really well. Like they're actual stand-up comedians getting booked, and they're doing the LA hustle. And I think rap and comedy actually are very similar, like brain, like good with words, know how to like land and phrase things, good listeners too. So it's like I love comedy. Some of my favorite artists are comedians, like Jamie Foxx, you know, who can do really everything, but his stand-up's hilarious.
He's phenomenal.
It's funny, I don't like Rogan's stand-up as much as I like his podcast, and he's hilarious. Back in the day, it was Dane Cook. Dane Cook was freaking barn burner. But man, the Comedy Store is legendary. And then later, when I lived in LA, I had some other times at the Comedy Store more as a patron. Because it's like, that was honestly like almost the only time I really I was like figuring out, because I had comedy friends, like, "Yo, man, you should go up." I just had this opportunity, and I was like, it was kind of random, but fun. But yeah. Shout out Comedy Store. Back when LA comedy was cracking.
That's what Rogan and everybody says. I saw Rogan in 2019. My wife took me to go see him at the Improv, the Hollywood Improv. And when I was there, what's his name? Oh God, what is his name? He was right before him, Tim Dillon.
Oh, Tim Dillon, yeah, he's hilarious.
Tim Dillon was there, and he had just moved to L.A., and the thing people need to understand who don't live in L.A. is intimate. You just run into Hollywood stars, you run into comedians, you see people, like they're just right there. Like I was waiting in line, and Tim Dillon was to the right of me. I had no idea who he was, and he was very loud. He was smoking a cigarette, talking to these two dudes, and we're waiting in line, and he's right next to me. And he's going off about Alex Jones, like he's talking conspiracy shit. And so my brain instantly goes, huh? You know, and so I'm listening in and all this stuff, and he's just going off about this, smoking a cigarette, and then I go into the comedy show or whatever, and Brendan Schaub goes up. Not that good, but whatever. It was still cool to see him. That dude's massive. He's huge.
A heavyweight MMA guy, right?
Huge. Yeah. He's the host of The Fighter and the Kid, which they crush. But and then it was Tim Dillon, and Tim Dillon was better than Joe Rogan.
Tim Dillon's hilarious.
He was really, really funny. And then Joe Rogan went on, and I was shocked to see how short he was. He's really short.
Yeah.
Jacked. He's like a little gorilla. He's a solid dude, but that's the cool shit about LA. Like just seeing that.
Well, it's a small town in a big city, like in a huge. Like you do go to these different pockets, and you're like, oh, this is like a town in its own little pocket. You know how like it's just got different feels. You know, up in Hollywood has its own feel, especially like Sunset Boulevard. It also has all that history of like, you know, the whiskey and the Troubadour and all those like legendary music venues, and it's got the Improv. That's more down a little south, but you're totally right. Even Orange County feels way different than LA.
It is way different.
That's
different. Why I like it, because it's like it's kind of bougie down here. You know, everybody drives Range Rovers. You always see Lamborghinis. You always see like these awesome cars. Tesla's fucking everywhere.
They got money.
Yeah, they got money.
Yeah, they got money in Orange County.
You know, I got a theory on this too. Like, you know, everybody's kind of hurting in America because Biden, you know, it's hard to get work right now in the Midwest and stuff. But like in SoCal, dude, I'm thriving. Like I don't know if it's because I'm it's democratically ran, and like what I'm trying to say is like I don't know if like California is getting taken care of by the federal government or something.
I mean, California is the fourth largest economy in the world.
That's probably why.
If its own nation, there's just you know a lot of innovation goes down in California. Now, I also think California has some issues. That's why I moved. Definitely has some issues, but I also think it's like ground zero in a spiritual war and in a mental war. So it's like California, and this kind of even goes deeper. This is like a deeper conversation, but it just has the best land to me. It's like beautiful coastline, redwoods even up to Yosemite, PCH, and then you got it's like so diverse. It's almost like part of the Mediterranean or Europe or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like California is beautiful, and then they just like so great ideas are drawn there. But the pandemic, it was like eye-opening how, and especially where I was in LA, how brainwashed and how incorrect thought was shunned. Like if you spoke out at all about what people are like about like even government mandates or anything, people are like, what? I mean, I live right next to a school, a really nice school in Beverly Hills, and those kids were masking up long after kids. And I'm from Missouri, right? So I got to see kind of the two different idea. And Missouri is a lot poorer than California, so we can say that straight up, like no question. But I think there was just a heavy-handed response in California that was really shifted and changed things, at least for a while. You know, nothing's permanent in life, but it was crazy, bro. It was crazy during the pandemic. I feel like
politics ruined California, and I've been talking to some people on this podcast, some deep thinking, some occultist people who've been down these rabbit holes, and I think the news is just magic, dude. I think it's casting spells, and I think it cast a big spell on a lot of people.
You're not wrong.
COVID. I think it's just spells, and I think.
Well, you probably know this, right? Think about the word TV. Television. Whose vision? What are you changing when you change the channel? Like you're channeling. I mean, there's a bunch of words are powerful. I mean, I've always been taught that. I always know that. And if they can program what words aren't allowed to be said, or they can control what you think and say, you can control the narrative. You can control the masses. And that's why I think you're seeing, when the age of the internet, like the masses like waking up, and you're getting characters like, you know, Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, Ye, all of these
Elon
Musk. And if it wasn't for Elon Musk, we wouldn't even have a lot of these details that came out about how Twitter and the FBI were hand in hand, like open dialogue. Yeah, block this person. Like weird accounts, like Andrew with 5,000 accounts, like literally targeting like funny accounts, dude, that were like right leaning and making jokes about. And the other thing is like, especially in LA, if you have any like anti-Democrat talking point thought, it's like you better watch your words carefully. Yeah, blackball. And I ran in some pretty open circles, like open thought, but still at the same time, I had to craft my words carefully, just to socially be okay. You know, it's like, and like maintain, because people are like super political these days. That's the other thing about COVID.
Yeah.
Really hard, and Trump. And I was, in California, I was like, yo, everybody made money with Trump. The hood thinks that. People know that. Like 2016 to 2020, people made way more money than they're making now. Prices were lower than they are now. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's just a fact, bro.
Yeah, no, you nailed that. The hood I agree. But these people are so brainwashed, they don't care. I just think any Republican,
because they're plugged in, man.
Exactly, they're plugged into that
to
matrix.
TV, like you said, but I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off.
You're good. I think even if DeSantis runs, he's going to be labeled the new Republican devil, and say it's not DeSantis, and say it's like I don't know, Billy Joe, or Billy Bob, or whoever. they're going to be like Billy Bob is a white supremacist. He's an asshole. He's racist. He wants to kick everybody off the border and send them back home with babies. Like it is what it is, man. And that's why I'm hoping, like you said, Elon Musk just kind of opens the curtains and says, "Take a look for yourself," and
I
you
think
be the
people.
judge.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think most people are rational if they have all the information. But if you only let certain information out, of course, people like rational people are going to think a certain way, like independents. People who don't like vote one way or the other. I feel like I'm an independent. I'll like switch my vote back and forth, or like switch my viewpoint based on the information. I feel like a lot of people, maybe I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt, but I do feel like most people are common sense people. They're just like, yo, like some of the stuff's not working. Clearly not working. You know?
No, I'm very on the fence nowadays. Like, I wanted Trump to win because I thought he would be a better candidate than Joe Biden, and I was right. And
clearly,
and so I think people, anyways. So now I don't want Trump to run again because I'm like, I don't want that shit again. And you can hate me, you can judge me for it, whatever. I want DeSantis to run. I want somebody new. I want somebody. I think DeSantis has proven himself to be a good candidate for the job. He's just taking care of Florida so well. It's like, dude, you got my vote, man. And he called off the World Economic Forum. Everybody who listens to my podcast knows about them.
Yep.
They're basically, I think Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is a shill for them, and that's why Tate got taken out so quick. It's because he was beefing with her, and all of a sudden this shit happens. But that's my own judgment.
And I agree. I say, like, especially with Trump, I think he pisses off people so hardcore that he just is like not gonna ever get elected again because like 50% of people hate Trump, like literally think he's Hitler.
He's got a losing record too. Lane Kindle brought that up,
and he lost
in 2008. In 2018, he lost the House and the Senate. In 2020, he lost to Joe Biden, and like. Whether they cheated or not, I don't know. But
Joe Biden.
Yeah, I would lean towards they did. But and then in 2022, everybody he endorsed for the 2022 election lost. So
and that was supposed to be a huge, just what they call it,
red wave.
Red wave that didn't happen.
Yeah, a little bit of a nosebleed if you ask me. But but yeah, dude. So I don't know.
I've just never seen people react to a political dude like Trump. Like it's like people love him. People still love him. Like he still definitely has like hardcore fans, but it's like they're almost as delusional as the people who hate him. It's like it's the rational middle that is like you said. DeSantis just he's like that's who you're gonna get. Hope I think from the Republicans. I mean, maybe Joe Biden runs again. Who knows if he makes it there? Then I mean. Do they run Kamala if Joe Biden doesn't make it, or do they run Joe Biden again? They just run him back, right?
Yeah, I think so. If he wins again, I already think it's all circus anyways. I think it's just a show. Vladimir Putin said, when he's like, new presidents come, they say that they're going to do all this stuff, and then once they become president, they get taken into this room. Men in black suits come in and kind of tell them what time it is. So like, I don't know. I kind of think it's all a circus either way. Like I think, whatever you're watching, whatever they're telling you, if it's not like progressing our country in the right direction and it's degressing like it has been, I think there's an agenda to it. I think you can't go from where we were in 2019 to where we are now in 2023, and it's happening so fast. The crumbling of the way things used to be, that it has to be planned. It has to be orchestrated. And I'm hoping, and I don't know, I'm hoping somehow somebody gets in there and they can't rig it. And he gets in there and kind of does what Trump did and cleans house and makes the economy go sky high again.
Go vroom.
Yeah, go vroom. Yeah,
go vroom.
Make the hood rich, like you said. And
hey man, just everybody. I think everybody, and that's. I think everybody. It's like America is the wealthiest nation on earth. Like we shouldn't be having tent cities in our great cities like San Francisco and LA. Those are great, beautiful cities. Portland. I saw. I think it was Soft White Underbelly. They're just interviewing people on the street, and they're like, "Yeah, they're paying me like $1,500 a month to live here, and I can just get high and party." They're like, "Why wouldn't I?" She has no teeth. And I was just like, "That is wild." And it's like, and it's known. And people talk, and that's just like, there's got to be.
They all have phones. They can call their homies in Missouri and be like, "Dude, get out of that cold, man. Come to San Fran.
Come San Fran, man.
I'll be chilling, man. They're paying us." That's where our system is screwed up. There's another. I was just talking to my cousin before I got on here, and some of my friends they'll claim certain things if they get fired or whatever, and basically they're taken care of for a year and a half. And so, like, the incentive to work is going down, which is crazy, especially when the economy's. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's crazy too, because like, right, and they don't. It's like, I think if you really want to be independent, financial independence is like should be your main priority, right? It's like you got to have money in this system, and I just don't understand. Like, I don't know why we would incentivize people not to hustle. I don't know if you can instill that. I mean, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? You got to hustle at the end. It's like up to people, but if you incentivize just living on the street, people are gonna do that. Like,
oh yeah,
straight up. I just don't know what you do.
There was a time in my life when I was lazy and I smoked weed all the time. So you're telling me I don't have to work, but I can still get money to buy this stuff? Okay, that's what I'll do. Like, you know,
they shut stuff down during COVID. They literally didn't let people work. So that had a whole mindset. People were just like, "Yeah, I'm just getting money, and COVID's happening." Okay, and a lot of people were making way more during COVID than they ever did in their life.
Yep, it's weird for me because I was an essential worker. Like I remember I just got this new video game called No Man's Sky, and my grandpa had just passed away, and so I flew out to go to his funeral, and I was coming back, and I was like, heck yeah, gonna go home and play some No Man's Sky. And I had my own apartment, my own little, you know, whatever, bachelor pad. And all of a sudden I hear this, you know, coronavirus thing kicking off. And I had a homie, Dusty. We YouTube videos of people in China dropping dead. And we're like, what is this? And then I heard that they were going to shut down the economy. I had told some high up at work. I saw him in the bathroom, and I was like, "Hey man, I heard that they're going to shut down the economy next week." Blah blah blah. And he laughed at me, and he's like, "They'll never do something like that." And I was like, "Okay." And then sure enough, Gavin Newsom got on the news, and he was like, "You know, we're in a pandemic now, and we have to take precautions and
safety precautions.
Yeah, safety precautions.
Keep you safe.
Certain measures. We got to flatten the curve."
Bullshit.
So work will cease to exist except for essential. And I'm sitting there going, yes, because I want to play, you know, No Man's Sky for 2 weeks because I'm thinking it's just gonna be 2 weeks. We're off. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be bomb. And he's like, except for essential workers. And so I'm looking at what that is. And he's like, construction. And I was like, motherfucker. Like, But then I ended up working throughout the whole thing. Like,
blessing,
huge blessing. 6 months went by, a year went by, and people were still not fucking working. And I was like, this is crazy. This is nuts. And by then I was like, dude, this is a blessing.
Huge blessing. Music hasn't really turned a profit yet for me, so I had to like supplement with bartending, and I got on at this cool spot, shout out to Mountain, that was almost like an artist, I call it like an artist incubator, because it had all these different artists hustling, musicians, comedians, actors, models, the whole thing, and then the chefs were artists. It was a cool spot, like sick bar right there in Abbott Kinney, sick, dope. But COVID happened, boom, goes under. We have no more job, no more income, and we can't work. It's like all those like artists, up and coming artists, and like, you know, LA's full of that. and like work restaurant gigs out of work for like a year. And you could work at some spots, but it wasn't like you weren't making money. You were making more money just going on unemployment insurance. And as soon as stuff opened, I got another bartending gig, 2 actually, and then yeah. But it definitely felt different post COVID. Like just the energy of like people still go out. Trust, people still go out. LA's still popping. Venice has this whole new thing. It's popping, but it's you can 100% say it's different. It's 100% different.
I've only gone to LA to go to Koreatown.
K-Town's lit.
K-Town is
Koreatown.
so lit. And like that.
Shout out if you need.
Yeah.
I got a spot for you. Dim Sum Saw. I interrupted you again. I'm doing that.
You're good. Is that in Koreatown? Is that in
K-Town? Dim Sum Saw. Some of the best. It's like it's got a huge menu and it's like open till 3 a.m. And
dude, I think that's where we went. I gotta ask Wayne, but
wooden. It's got like wooden benches and like booths.
Yeah, that's where we went. Yeah, yeah. We got spicy pork belly and a whole bunch of beer and
big old Sapporos.
Bro, I'm salivating thinking about that spicy pork belly. It is the best food.
It's incredible. It's some of my favorite, like best food, like but dining experience I think I've ever had because you can just like, dude, they have like American food, but it's Korean style. So like their French fries are off the chain. Oh, the food's so good. The pork belly.
Yes.
What else? They have a seafood pancake if you're into that sort of thing. That's wild. Their menu's insane. Dim Sum Saw.
Dim Sum Saw. I think it took us forever
K-Town.
to get in. It took us a long time.
Oh yeah.
But then
I think it's just you wait, right? I think it's just like
it's just a lot of waiting. Yeah. But it's worth the wait. You just got to show up a little with something in your belly, and then you'll be good. But yeah,
only K-Town, really.
K-Town. Well, since COVID, and I have no desire, man. Like I had some people at work who came in always masked up, told me that they were from LA County and we're from Orange County and we didn't give a rat's ass, and so we would try to tell them, hey man, I don't think you need to worry about it. Like I was checking it and it was just the flu, but it did fuck some people up. But for me, I was checking the numbers of death, and I was if it was 3 months, I was timesing it by 4, and okay, that's 600,000. Okay, how many died from the flu last year? Okay, 450,000. Okay, this is the flu, So I didn't worry about it at all once I compared those numbers. And I got lucky, though, man, because I lived in the Back Bay with Jeremy, and he has a super sick spot now. It's right by Woody's, and you could take a paddleboard and hit the Back Bay. Like, the dock is your backyard.
Right there.
And so I ended up becoming this like professional freaking paddleboarder, dude. Like I paddleboarded all the time.
That's amazing.
And the cool part about Newport is they kept like Woody's open, they kept Billy's open, and so I could just roll up. But what was cool is they ended up, you used to have to go into the restaurant to get a drink or get some fries, fish and chips. And the cool part about COVID was they had a dock menu, so I could just roll my paddleboard up.
Wow.
Sit on the dock, and then a waitress would come out, and I'd be like, yeah, can I get fish and chips and a Mai Tai? And then sure enough, boom, fish and chips, Mai Tai. It's a Saturday. Dude, it was more...
I mean, COVID, that's clean. That's clean living right there, bro.
Clean, yes. My wife loved it. And so I kind of... What's happened to me with all of this is... just like you, I was chasing music. You're still chasing music, which I respect. And, but I was chasing this, Hollywood is what I was chasing, and the bright lights and all this stuff. And what I'm chasing now is nature. Like I want to become more one with this earth, as gay as that sounds or whatever. Like I want to become one with the earth and show my daughter, this is a little pig, and let's raise it. And then, or this is a chicken. Okay. They make the eggs and we're going to eat our eggs. We don't need to go to the store.
Yeah.
This broccoli and these carrots that you're eating, we grew that last year, or whatever.
Yeah.
4 months ago. I want to get back to that. Like,
I mean, that sounds like you want to go back to Kansas, bro. Get a farm in Kansas.
I got 6 acres, man. So like I I'm good to go. I'm gonna be in Cali a little bit longer, about 6 more years, and then me and the family are jetting to Kansas, and I'm gonna become like a shop teacher or something and just chill and just do podcasts and chill. Yeah, that's the plan.
See, I wrote a song called Headline actually because I feel like, and it was on the Shadow Work EP, and it was with those shout out Barry Jones, Jonathan Tumblin, and Lex the God, and where it's like I feel like my music is a tool to be like subversive in like the thoughts, like, you know, it's like a way for me to input my ideas and get paid off of them. But it's funny that you say all that because I felt that intuitively too. It's like, you know, having a kid, it's like I want to be more in tune with nature, but I also want to affect culture because I do feel like our voices are powerful. And like you said, being one with, I call it God. I believe in God. I was raised a Christian. I am a Christian. Like, I believe God speaks through us, through artists, through your job, you know, whatever you do it unto God. And I do think like we're in a spiritual battle. So like going back and farming our own food and having our own chickens. And, you know, I've been looking at, I got family in Arkansas, and we've been looking at that too, and still somehow being able to like operate in California where it's like, I feel like spiritual ground zero, and have like, we need a new word, but homesteading is like the old, you know, we're not fighting off, you know, Native Americans and like, everything, you know, Southern gangs and rebels and outlaws and all that stuff now, but we need another word where we can actually like build almost a homestead where it's like, you know, go see the fam. We can walk, you know, 2 miles down the road and you go see your fam and you own all that land. Like I think that's a good mindset to have. And me and my lady talk about that all the time and making that like, okay, how are we going to actually do this? And like, what are the steps we got to take to get that independence from bad food or rising, like, yo, egg prices have, anybody with a brain has seen, they've gone up like 3x easy. I remember buying organic eggs for like $2 back in the day, or $3. And now eggs are legit like almost $9 in some spots. Yep.
My brother, you know, whenever 2023 happened, he says this year's going to be rough. And
that's what all the forecasts say.
Yeah, like at first I thought 2022 was kind of the roughest we were going to see, but it looks like 2023, not to be a black pill or anything.
But you know what Drake said? I be in and out recessions like I'm in and out of Texas, and that's how I feel. I be in and out recessions like I'm in and out of Texas.
I like it. No, yeah, you just kind of go with the flow, man. Just keep your spirit up. Like you said, it's
and get your bag
battle.
Up. Get your bag up too, because I think that's important. It's like spiritual and financial. It's like you got to have, I think those things are actually good mirrors of each other. If you're doing good spiritually, God is going to reward you. And God rewards his warriors.
I agree. And like a lot of the homies wanted to take Friday off, you know, before Christmas and Friday off before New Year's. And I was like the only one to stand up and be like, nah, we need to make money. Let's make some money. And then, I don't know. I'm getting that bag right now. I'm working on it. But Luke, all right. So you do have some, I want to go down your mind rabbit holes, stuff you dabbled with in LA.
We might have to edit this part. Some of this. But okay.
You go as deep as you want to go. And if it's too much, then I'll move away.
Yeah. It's at, what are we at? Almost an hour. If people are still here, they can get these goodies.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, when COVID happened, right? I just gotten back from my brother's wedding in Mexico. And so I like had spent a bunch of money prior to COVID and was just like, yo, let's just live it. You know, you get married once, whatever, right? But I thought I'm coming back, I'm bartending, we're making good money, bartending, blah, blah, blah. COVID happens, no money. Money cuts off. So we get, you know, basically I had started dating. We'd been dating my girl for like 6 months. She went and picked up her sister in Telluride, Colorado, on like the 14th. Right? She's like moving to LA and gonna figure out her life, whatever, blah blah blah. Moves back. She turns 21 lockdowns happened. Like on the 15th, they announced no more work. So we're just like in the house with like a newly 21-year-old young girl and my girl, and we just like get drunk for like 2 weeks straight, basically. And they're just having like crazy, I mean, just drinking all the booze. We're just like, yo, this feels like the end of the world. We're doing like, we might have to edit this out, but we were doing like, you know, yeah, we should. But like between you and me, we're like just doing crazy shit, doing like tying up, you know, doing like, and just getting like crazy weird, like just like weird dance parties. You can like patch this up. You can, I trust you.
Okay.
But like it was just getting wild and weird because we was like, yo, this is the end of the world. Like, let's just party. And then, you know, it's going to be 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks turned into like a month. And then a month turned into like 2 months. And we're like, okay, what in the fuck's going on? And then we like, you know, we went out to Joshua Tree, dropped some heavy shrooms. I mean, it was really just like sex, drugs, rock and roll for a while. And just like, but in the house. It was such a strange time, man. It was really like zombie LA. Because then we go like ride bikes high as fuck on shrooms and the city's just dead. We're just like, yo, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah. With nobody there, that would be like an apocalyptic feeling.
Bro,
especially on
eerie.
Shrooms.
It was eerie.
Yeah,
then it's like, and then later, later that year, just a crazy like time in the house. We're just like, just like not knowing what was going to happen. And then boom, George Floyd riots happen. And we are like, I'm not like a mile from the epicenter, G. Like, so my boy is actually crashing with me at the time. Camera. This is actually, right after that. So COVID, then the lockdowns, then George Floyd. And that shit I feel like really did change LA too. Just the whole nation. But that was like a big turning point too. Like, you remember Grand Theft Auto when it would get like 5 stars, like, and just being safe. It felt like that, bro. Cop cars everywhere, helicopters everywhere. I was on a bike, my buddy with a camera, Zach Perez, and he put this on his YouTube channel, and we can maybe link it or something. But he went and just filmed what went down, burning cop cars, like shooting beanbags in the crowd. And once it got dark, we were like, all right, let's bounce. But we wanted to see like what was going down and just like be a part of that. That was wild. That really was like wild. My girl did not go. She was like, I don't really want to go. I'm like, yeah. You should stay here. You should stay here.
Yeah.
Because we got to the Beverly Center. We got to that Beverly Center before the cops did. And it was just chaos. I mean, it was just chaos. You could like, it was like, yeah, I mean, like the savannah and like there's not much water left and all the animals are just going after the water.
Yeah, no, that's
Bro,
a great analogy.
It was crazy.
That's a great analogy. That's why I want to move back to the civilized, like what'd you say, homestead?
Yeah, we need a better word for it.
Like we have.
Maybe your fans can come up with a better word for it.
Exactly. They need to figure it out. Comment it, please.
But leave in the comments.
Once we had kids, I know once I had a kid, that's when I'm like, this is getting dicey out here. But it's calmed down quite a bit. If I'm being honest, it's actually the dust is settling and.
That's what they say. That's what kind of why I feel the call to come back. It's like I need because I do thrive in that. There's an energy though that I love about LA of like the creative and the business minds kind of coexisting at the same parallel. Like you have these creators, but you also have really, really smart business guys like your brother and Nick and Dallas and all those cats. And even I met a lot of blue collar dudes, but also like even working in restaurants and stuff. Like Central California is like a lot like Texas. It's got oil rig boys. It's got, there's a lot of industry getting built that needs to get built. Welders, electricians, all that stuff. Trade guys.
Shout out to my boy Mason. But my boy Mason sounds like more of a redneck than my Kansas friends. And he's from out here.
That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of cowboy in California.
A lot of cowboy and a lot of like fixing trucks and the country songs like Temecula, man. Temecula is cowboy. Temecula, like they're it may like they're cowboy.
It's cowboy. I mean,
it is. Well, yeah.
But we definitely felt like that's what kind of we were like. All right, we're having a baby too. My son was born in March last year because we're in 2023.
Congratulations, big dog.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
you're gonna be a great dad, dude. I'm super happy for you.
It's fun. It was fun for Christmas, like seeing all the cousins and stuff. But that was definitely like a motivating factor. We're like, oh man, it's just a little chaotic right now.
Inexpensive.
I mean, yeah, just make more money, but
I like it. That's what my brother says.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he says.
Shout out Jeremy Logan. It's not expensive. You just got to make more money.
Come on, he's gonna like that. He's gonna like that.
I'm gonna call Jeremy. I haven't talked to Jeremy in a while. It's definitely this is like a sign that we need to reconnect too. But yeah,
I'll get you guys both on a podcast at some point. I'll let you, all three of us, get down on one.
Hell yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of magic in the ocean, and we made a lot of cool records in LA. I mean, I like being in LA too because a lot of really great music and art is made in that city, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring to be around that, and the energy is infectious. And there's bad too. There's black and white, but yeah, man, it's a cool city. LA's
right
elite.
Though. When you're in that energy of creating with the right dudes, it's like it's fun. It's fun. And then somebody's, we need a guy to make the music video. Boom. I know a homie who's hustling for UFC, doing the videos for UFC. We'll get him out here. He's got a $5,000 drone. We'll do some cool shots. It's very creative. I will piggyback
entrepreneurial,
on
and that was cool. That was that was a blessing of COVID. So like I had two roommates. That was another like I call it shake up the snow globe, right? It's like I had two roommates in Shenandoah, aforementioned Shenandoah. Then those guys left California because they kind of got like just spooked and just like we're out of here. This was the end of 2020. So then my girl and we had another guy move in, who had a comedian and then led to a lot of music, and that happened in 2021. But just like that was like the end of COVID, but we're still locked down super heavy in the end of in LA at least. Like they really didn't start opening up like bars and restaurants other than like super essential people until like when you like spring 21, something like that.
That's crazy.
And like, and you still had to wear a mask, super hardcore, and they really wanted to see proof of a shot. And it was like, I don't. And then I would go back to from the South. I'm a South mixed with like the West Coast. I'm eclectic mix. But when I go back to the South, it was just like, no one's bugging. Nobody's bugging. Yeah, no one cares. Everybody's letting if you want to wear the mask, you can wear it. But in California, they like I went back into like a grocery store in like where was it? El Segundo. Didn't have a mask, and you thought it was like I was a Nazi.
What's on your mask? Yeah.
Where are your papers?
Yes, exactly. You did. You can answer this. Did you get the jab?
No.
Okay. So, we're all seeing this this Buffalo football player the other day. I think it was Monday Night Football. He falls down
after a routine hit, very routine hit.
Yeah. I find it very skeptical. They keep on going after the narrative of this some carditis that
carditis. Yeah, and it's like a 15-year-old boys getting hit by a baseball type thing, not 24-year-old grown ass man who's a football player, who's a modern day gladiator.
Yeah, what's your take on all this? Your opinion.
I'm super glad he's waking up, and like I think that's a huge blessing because I was really worried. I was like, just the emotion. I got a text. My homie's like, "Yo, are you watching this?"
So did I.
And I turned it on, and like my Twitter again. Back to Twitter. Twitter was blowing up with it, and then I saw the hit, and I'm like, "Yo, I played football. That was not that bad." And maybe I'm not a doctor, and I didn't play one on TV, and I don't know if anything if that really can stop it. But I do know that a lot of people have noticed athletes dropping in a similar fashion in other sports. This just happened to be Monday Night Football, Bills, Bengals, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. So you have tons of
the AFC, like
huge game.
Yeah.
Right? Huge game. A lot of eyeballs on that. So people are like waking up like, whoa. And then you go deep down the rabbit hole and you see all these soccer players been dropping for a minute. And I think questions just need to be answered. It's funny because like the main networks, like they're not really talking about it, but they're talking about it behind closed doors. On Twitter, there's a lot of athletes that are like worried because they did get it. They got, and it's like these are big dudes with a lot of stress on their heart. So
I will give, because
I
know some people who will be like, no, you idiot, it was the hit to the chest that did it. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. And like you said, I'm really happy he's waking up, and I pray he comes to and he heals. And
I hope I think, you know what? I think it also speaks to the power of prayer. I actually really believe in this because this dude had hundreds of millions of prayers for him. And I think it's actually great evidence for the power of prayer. You know, atheists, you can come for me. Y'all are lame. Y'all are lame. But
they are, yeah. They're
atheists
sad,
are the lame.
individuals.
You're sad. You're sad. You're lame. And God loves you.
Hell yeah, Luke. Tell him.
But I really think the power of prayer. Like, think about all the people that were praying for that dude. And
a grip, man.
A grip.
Even on live television on ESPN, the guys like, we're talking about sending prayers out. I want to do one right now, and that's awesome. I like seeing that.
That's pretty powerful.
Really do.
So I hope, and there's actually like they were talking about this on Pardon the Interruption, like a hockey player. Like this has happened before, not happened before, but happened in similar things where they had to like resuscitate on the field. And dudes have come back and played. Now that they were a long way, obviously, from that, but I mean, if he's coming to and he fully heals, I think that would be an amazing thing if he came back and played. If he can't come back, also all good. I think it's just great that he's like, you don't know. There's just still unknown, but it's like the positive signs I'm happy about, and I'm happy people are talking about it and asking questions that, you couldn't even ask a year ago. You couldn't even ask these questions.
Yeah.
Like this was your tinfoil hat. Why? Blah, 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 blah. Trust the science, bro. All right, well, what about my eyeballs? What about what I'm looking at? What about I'm watching? So I think it was a powerful moment, actually. And I'm really glad that he's coming too. I think it's a bunch of things going on. So
I agree,
we'll
man.
See.
I'm with you on that. And like I said, you guys who believe, it was that hit to the chest and the heart, whatever, I'll give you this one. And maybe that's exactly what it was.
But hey,
if I see, I'm just saying, if I see,
have you ever seen that before? Have you ever seen a dude just drop like that? How long have you been watching? I've been watching football like 30-something years.
Dude, I know I'm not trying to be like, I'm some stud, but I laid bigger hits on dudes than that.
Facts. In high school.
Yeah. And you can ask.
I mean, he ran into him, right? The dude like just stopped him.
Yeah, he kind of just hugged him, fell down with him, and then got up, wiggled his face mask, and just boom, just right on his back, right on the back of the head.
That was crazy.
It was crazy.
On the field, I mean, and to see the emotion too.
Yeah,
of the players.
Yeah, because they all know, hey, that could be me. That could be me. Like those guys, they get paid a shitload, and you know what? Sometimes I say to myself, rightfully so. I do believe that sports is just a big, Roman circus,
gladiators.
Keep them hungry, or whatever,
totally.
feed the people. Don't let them see what we're doing over here. Watch sports.
100%.
That's why they get paid so much. They get paid out the ass just to distract us.
Because people watch, I mean, right? NFL, people watch that shit. But soccer players make the most. What Ronaldo's making $200 million this year?
Yes.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes. That guy's a stud, dude.
The bag. Yeah, he is a stud.
Straight stud, man. Not only is he a handsome devil, but then he's like the top dog in his country and in a lot of countries.
Yeah. He's not Messi. I'm a Messi guy, though. I am a Messi guy. I think Messi's the GOAT.
Okay.
I think
Messi won the World Cup, right, this year?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Argentina. And that, did you watch that? I know you're not really a soccer guy.
Bro, I don't watch any sports. I just watch the UFC. That's it.
Okay. I like that, though. I'm
wearing a Chiefs hat. I am a Chiefs fan. And I'm sure you're a Chiefs fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're from Missouri?
Oh, yeah. My brother has season tickets.
That's dope. I'm a Chiefs fan, but the sport that I like to watch the most live is hockey, because those dudes are savages, bro. My buddy just sent me a video today of a guy getting hit right in the front teeth with a hockey stick, and he goes out, he sits down, he's talking to his coach. He's like, yeah, all 4 of them went back, but I just pushed them all back. He's like, this one's a little loose. Will you hold on to it for me? Pulls it out and just gives it to the coach.
Oh,
like,
my gosh,
they're built from a different savage. And you got soccer players who, they just try to get red flags all the time, and they cry about some dude stepping on their toe. That's what
game. It's the beautiful game. No, I get it. I get it.
It's part of the game. I get that too.
It's a different breed. But the World Cup was incredible, and just the spectacle of it is amazing. But you're right. It's all, I've actually become a huge UFC fan too, and I think that's the ultimate sport. Obviously, like, other than like dueling, it's like hand-to-hand combat. I mean, you just can't kick a dude when he's down. Other than that, there's not many rules. I'm actually excited.
You can kick a dude when he's down. You can't like kick his side. Actually, yeah, I think you can. You can't knee them while they're on their knees.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You can't.
But you can, if they're laying on their
Savages.
back, like in jiu-jitsu, like waiting for you to come down to them, you can literally throw a leg right over and stomp their face. Yeah, dude, I love the
sport.
UFC. Dude.
I do too. I do too.
Savage.
I'm excited. I'm excited that Jake Paul is signing an MMA contract.
Is he going to play? Is he going to fight MMA?
Not in the UFC, for PFL, Professional Fighting League, and he offered Nate Diaz today a 2-fight contract. First one boxing, second one MMA.
That'll be interesting.
Right? I'm like, yeah, that's a really interesting idea.
Jake Paul. I can't doubt this kid.
Bro,
man.
he can punch, bro.
Dude, he knocked out Tyrone Woodley. Like,
one punch.
That's when I'm like, wait a second. Like, the first
One
guy
punch,
he knocked
bro.
out, the dad bod dude, I forget his name.
Ben Askren.
The first dude
Missouri
he knocked
boy.
out. Well, dude, that guy went in there just to get his bag and leave.
Bro, he looked like, he still knocked him out one punch. So clearly this dude Jake Paul can crack.
He's got a whip on his arm. I agree.
Certain dudes can just crack. You know this. He's from Ohio, the Midwest, Kansas, Missouri. Some dudes can just crack.
Farm boys. Yeah, I agree. That's going to be interesting. I love Nate Diaz. I want to see Nate Diaz, Conor. I think it's their trilogy that they need to do that 3. But Conor, man, he's been MIA.
He got too much money.
I was like, yeah, he's chilling on yachts. Yeah, you're right. His bag is too full.
Maybe he'll come back, but he got too much money, bro.
If he does,
I really want to get beat up.
I really think if he comes back, like the beautiful thing about him is like right now, man, like I don't really hear much going on. I'm a huge UFC guy, and I listen to Michael Bisping's podcast, Believe You Me, and there's not a lot going on, man. There's not a lot of beef. I like Sugar Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley's cool. That guy, he's got like braided hair and he's all colorful and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He's cool. He actually, you remind me of him, just that laid back, like whatever, dude. But
both smoke weed. I think weed can make you cooler. Some can make you lazy, but I think it's like you're either lazy or not. But who else I like? Hamzat Chimaev. I think he's a killer.
Yeah, he is.
I think they want to do him and Colby, right? Him and Colby Covington.
Yeah.
That's an interesting fight, bro. If he can make weight. He didn't make weight last time.
We were in, me and my brother, we went to Vegas. Shout out to Tim Wellen and Ian Wellen, my Swedish friends. Me and them, we drove my Chevy truck to Las Vegas for that fight. And funny story. Khabib versus Conor McGregor.
No way.
Yeah. And so we go out there for that fight, and I remember telling them when we were rolling into Vegas, because it was late. It was a Friday night. We were dipping out of SoCal, And we're getting there at 12. My brother's got this, I don't know, cosmopolitan suite. My brother did it right. You know what I mean?
Jeremy does it right.
Wrap around deck. Like, it was, yeah. And so I roll up and I'm like, I tell Tim and Ian, I'm like, hey, boys, tonight, like, let's go. Let's have a couple beers, you know, in the lobby or something. Maybe pull some slots. Let's go upstairs and let's just, you know, have a few beers and get some good sleep. Wake up around 10 o'clock, you know, solid 8 hours of sleep, and then get some food and, you know, just get ready for this fight. Because it was such an exciting fight.
Oh, it's the biggest fight ever.
I show up to Las Vegas, and my brother's like, yeah, get a room key from, you know, the host at the Cosmo or whatever. And so I get the key, and then we go up to the suite. And me and the Sweden dudes are like, damn, Jeremy, you know, you did it right. And so I get a phone call from my brother, and he's like, hey, come to this strip club. And I was like, okay. And in my head, I'm like, maybe it'll end at 2, you know, we'll still get nice 8 hours of sleep by the end of the night.
Doubtful.
Hell no, man. We partied till, I think, 10 or 11 a.m. the next morning.
Vegas, baby.
And it was a Vegas night, and let's just say I was hurting so bad for that Conor McGregor Khabib fight, and that was the one where Khabib beat him, and then his homies jumped the the cage.
That's right.
And started punching Conor McGregor, and it was wild. And
Khabib jumped in the crowd, right?
Yeah, Khabib jumped in the crowd to get Dylan Dennis. And you know what's crazy is the guy who punches Conor in the back of the head is the champion now. And that's why Islam, yes. And that's why I was hoping Conor would come back to fight Islam for that belt. You know what I mean? Just to
That'd be
like,
amazing.
Oh, dude, that's the Cinderella story right there.
That would be
Full
amazing.
circle.
Conor weighs like 200 pounds right now, though.
Yeah, dude, he's a big boy.
Jizzed.
Yeah, he's jacked.
You think
Is he
he's on the roids? Oh, for sure, bro. Is the Liver King natty?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yo,
Exactly.
Conor, but they because I was like, yo, HGH helps you regrow bone, right? He broke 2 bones.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
he
like
snapped
that.
his damn leg.
Yeah.
I can't knock him for it. I mean, if it's right there and you're in pain and you're like, God, I just want this to heal.
Do you
and
think
you're
he's
a billionaire?
That's what I'm saying. Do you think he's gonna fight? I don't think he's gonna fight in the UFC again.
He's probably done. He's probably done.
Who does he even fight? Who would you?
Like I said, the
right to the belt after
right
being
to the
off?
belt. He's McGregor, dog.
That's not gonna happen. They're not gonna give him a title shot right away. He got to
they
fight
would.
one dude.
They would. No.
They would just bump him right up after he lost.
If he shows up, they know the money, the bags he brings.
Of
and
course,
they're going to be like, if he's like, hey, it's either Islam or nothing. Like, they're going to be like, okay, come on in, let's sign the contract.
Yeah,
you know they would. Dana's a wild card like that.
Well, Dana needs a good news story, man.
Yeah, he's got a bad one now. Didn't he punch his wife over Christmas?
Yeah, New Year's Eve. There's video of him slapping her after she slapped him very hard, and he slaps her. Definitely not even close to 100%. He gives her a little pat that looks bad on camera, and you know, you can't hit a woman.
It all looks bad, man. You just can't hit a woman, but women can't be hitting men either.
Exactly. Like she smacked him right in the face, hard in front of everybody. So it's like, and alcohol was involved. So I think it's best to just let you know, them deal with it.
Peacekeepers, yeah. I don't really like I said, I don't want to see that, but at the same time, shit happens, dog. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit happens. New Year's Eve, but yeah, Dana White's you know, I don't know what he would do with the Conor thing, but if he announced a Conor fight, that would definitely move headlines away from negative press.
Oh,
that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane.
That'd be a great start to 2023 if that news came out. He was going to fight Islam for the belt. It'd be hype as hell. UFC, everything.
They're not going to do that, Andrew. There's no way they're going to do that. They're going to fight Volkanovski, right? You and my boy, shout out Patrick Hirsch.
You guys saw him in Santa Monica, right? On the beach, or something like that.
Riding his bike.
right after he beat Jose Aldo. He was at the high of his life after that one.
Bro, he was lit. He was on top of the world after that.
This is a different, we're talking about New Year's Eve and all that stuff. I spent New Year's at Great Wolf Lodge, which is like a water park. I took my family there and it was fun. But I just stayed with my little girl while the ball dropped, or whatever you could say. I just had a couple beers and she was sleeping next to me, and then I went to sleep. Nothing big or crazy. But would you ever go to New York City? Would you ever? I heard you have to literally stand, like to go to Times Square and
No.
wait for the yeah. And
No.
I heard people wear Depends diapers just to pee in their diapers.
Yeah, no.
Like,
It's
why would you
cold in New York. Why would I want to be outside?
Yeah, I
midnight.
have no attraction to it. There's one I used to as a young man after watching Forrest Gump. I was like, someday I'll live in a big city and I'll, spend a New Year's out in the town like that and really feel the vibes, but
Yeah,
it's,
I've had
it's
some
all,
good. I've had some good. We did New Year's together. I think in like 14 or 15. I have pictures.
I think
from
in
that.
LA, right?
Yeah, you guys came up to LA.
Yeah, dude, I do remember that.
Yeah, I've had some
There was
good
a
New
girl
Year's Eve.
DJ that night. It
Yep.
was like 2 chicks DJing, and it was lit. Like, I think you and me went up, and they were pouring champagne on us. The
Bro,
DJ
it was
girls.
lit. I have some
Yeah.
cool pics from that. Not safe for work, but those are good. Those are good memories. But I've had some crazy New Year's Eve parties. This year was mellow. We just we
You
went
got
to
the
our
kid now.
Yeah, we went to our friends, and we just got back from drive. We drove to my fam to meet up with the fam, so energy was low. So we just went to a yoga studio that our friends own, and like had Indian food and watched a movie and let the kids do the thing. But I've had
That's
some
cool.
I've had some crazy ones. Like at it's definitely varied every year. It's like every other year. It's either lit, then calm, and then kind of direct it. But yeah, 2019 we were at this. Going into 2020, this is pre-pandemic. We were at this crazy castle up in Hollywood that was like by this clown family that had been in like The Grinch and a bunch of movies. They're literally a clown, like clowns, like straight up, like
That's what they
hop on
did?
each other's shoulders and juggle and shit. Crazy, right?
Okay.
Crazy. But their house was up in the Hollywood Hills, like way up in there, a literal like built like a castle, like columns and like looks like a mini castle, and then these like crazy bedrooms, like with like one of the dancers had like an absinthe wall. It's like absinthe from all over the like world, and it was like just an absinthe collector. That was pretty crazy. Like, and I don't know. Have you ever heard of Petit Hermitage, the hotel in West Hollywood? It's like a boutique hotel, gypsy hotel. Shout out Petit. But a lot of people that went to that hotel were at that party. Like, just like it's like very like circus masquerade. It was like
That's cool.
It was like Gatsby. Yeah. It was.
Oh, that's
it was
sick.
like a Gatsby circus masquerade, and it was lit. It was super
That
lit.
would be lit.
And it was
I love The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, it was very. Yeah, it was great. It was a good night. It was a good night. I have some really blurry pictures that are great, but that was a fun one.
I got some good advice. Keep going, sorry.
No. I was done.
Well, I got some good advice from Mr. Dallas one time. I was talking to him before New Year's, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you gonna do for New Year's? Like it's Dallas,
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna go do something ham, something crazy, and he's like, "I'll be in bed at 9 o'clock. I'll be the first one to sleep tonight, out of all my friends and out of all the people I know." He goes, "Because I'm gonna be the first one up, grinding at the beginning of the year. I'll
Bars.
be ahead of the race." And I was just like, okay, that's why you're worth $40 million. You know what I mean?
Bars.
I really respect him in that sense of just getting after it. And shout out Dallas. But
Shout out to Dallas.
I was listening to Joe Rogan today, man. The guy's name, this guy's cool. His name is John Reeves. And for anybody like hearing this right now, look up his Instagram, from the Boneyard, Alaska. So I think his Instagram's called Boneyard, Alaska.
Okay.
And this guy found woolly mammoth tusks. Like he ate woolly mammoth, for Pete's sake.
What?
Like, yeah, he talks about eating it, and he's like, it wasn't that good, but it went down good with a lot of Jack Daniels. So he ate a 12,000-year-old piece of meat, basically.
What?
Yeah. And he was talking. This guy's like just a character, man. Anybody listening to this, like, listen to this podcast. Joe Rogan, John Reeves. It's one of his recent ones. And he just explains a lot of things about Alaska, a lot of things about these mammoth tusks that he finds. If you find one of them's $100,000. He's got tons of them.
Damn.
This guy's rich as all get out. He's been rich since he was like a young man, like 22 years old. He got handed a company when oil drilling, the government gave $9 billion to Alaska for oil, and he got a lot of that money.
Damn.
So he basically retired at 30, went to Costa Rica. His story is awesome. But
Wow.
he got me thinking and talking to the homies about like animals. Did you know that a grizzly bear can run 100 yards in 8 seconds?
No, but I'm terrified of them. So
think about this. So Usain Bolt back in 2012 ran the 100 yards in 9.23 seconds, and that's the human like.
Damn.
That's the human.
So he's a whole second faster than Usain Bolt.
Yeah, dude. On a 100-yard dash. Good luck, man.
And he's like 800 pounds. I don't even know how big they are. 1,000 pounds. How much are grizzly bears? Yeah, it's ferociously terrifying.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think I'm most scared of bears, bro. I think bears.
Yeah.
Because I have a husky, and when we let him off leash, his prey drive's insane. And I'm almost like sometimes worried. I'm like, yo, if a grizzly bear or a bear, he's gonna go after it. Bears are terrifying. Grizzlies are terrifying.
This guy said if you leave a dog out on your leash on the property, like a chain and a leash, that you'll go outside the next day and all that will be left is the collar.
Damn.
Yeah, he was saying how
it's
wolves
rough out there.
Yeah, not only just bears, but then wolves. And yeah, I was talking to the homies about it today. Like, what's I was telling my friend about the 100-yard dash thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, do you know about wolves and wolf packs?" And I'm like, "No, not really." He's like, "A wolf will stalk you for like 25 miles. So you can run, and they'll nip at your heel and try to break your leg because their jaws are so strong. You'll keep going. They'll just trot behind until you're done. You know, what's the saying? Exhaustion makes cowards out of all men." And
it's
so,
it's a bar.
Yeah, so like, it was just interesting thinking about animals and like the Alaskan Trail and all those crazy things that go on up there.
Yeah, Alaska's just a wild place.
It is. Also, a
super
fun
wild
fact about Alaska. Another fun fact about Alaska. So, did you know that if you split Alaska in half, so like North Carolina, South Carolina, you split it in half, the state. So you got North Alaska, South Alaska. Texas will be the third largest state in America still. So that's how big Alaska is. I didn't realize it was that big. Yeah, because those two would take the cake. That's how big Alaska is.
Yeah. Shout out Alaska, keeping us safe from Russia.
Yeah. That guy had a ton of stories, man. You'll just have to listen to it. But
I
Luke, I won't keep you any longer, dude.
This was great. This was great. Yeah. This was super fun. Thank you for having me. Shout out Drew Logan. Drewcast. Yeah. This shit was really fun, bro. I like your shit.
Yeah, man. I love having guys like you on where I can just listen to you talk, because like you did great, man. Like your stories are awesome. You broke down LA, especially during that COVID time, really well. For anybody's listening, like I'm gonna play it back and be like, because even I wondered what happened in LA.
Yeah, because Orange County separated. Y'all had different rules. Rules.
Yeah, different. Totally different.
You might have to take out shit. That one part, but other than that, I think it's Gucci.
Oh, I already marked it. It's 55. I'll go through and edit it a little bit.
Yeah. But
I'll throw some doorbells in there or something.
Yeah. Just my mom might listen to it.
That's all right, dude. Yeah, no,
she might not make it through, but she might listen to the start. So.
You're a good boy. Because like my mom, I know she probably listens to some of mine, and she's probably just like, Andrew, why are you talking about this in public?
Mama,
I just don't. Yeah, I just don't care.
Yeah,
I'm like, Mom, I love you. I have a good heart. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. No,
judge
exactly.
away anybody, judge away. But at the end of the day, dude, like I just try to keep it real.
Keep it 100. No, we keep it real. That's why, dog. That was a really fun convo. Thank you for having me, G.
Well, no problem. I got a question for you, dude.
Yeah.
I sometimes, whenever I have a guest on that I just talk to like this, just one-on-one, I ask them before the end of the show, what is a memorable quote that you have in your head that you've had throughout the years that kind of pop into mind, that kind of help you when you're either down or just motivated to get that bag?
Something I wrote recently is like a good reminder. I was like, I feel like I stole from a bunch of different people, and it's like kind of my mindset for 23 is always do your best. Just always try give your best in everything. Don't quit. And actually don't try your best. Believe in yourself. That's number one. Believe in yourself. Don't quit. And don't listen to negative opinions or voices. And just I think it's the 4 agreements where it's don't take anything personal. So yeah,
it is the 4 agreements. That book's
yeah. So it's kind of like the 4. That's like one of the 4 agreements, but like my version is believe in yourself, don't quit, and
get that bag.
Don't take it personal. Yeah, getting the bag is implied, but I have a lot of Jay-Z quotes when it comes to money. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Hell yeah.
Lil Wayne, money on my mind, money on over. But yeah, get the bag. Stop being poor. 2023. Everybody, get the bag.
Get that bag. Peace, everybody.
Breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot.
Turn me up just a little bit.
That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot.
It's crazy.
That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot.
It's a flow state, baby. West Coast flow, got you feeling kinda wavy. Shit, I do this on the daily. Regular sonics in your ear, ringing off kinda crazy.
It's the monster that you made me.
All she do is play me, another rotation on the daily. Lost cause, don't think you can save me. If I'm showing up, guaranteed that you pay me. Solar shine, bouncing with the tribe. More than 5, like we only have the night. Read between the lines, the power kind. Ain't got the power to find. Got my power mind, activine on the spine. Don't need you, so you need to be mine. Don't need you, so you need to be mine. What you seeing in my timeline? Highlights, high life, all day, all night. Toasting while we coasting at a soaking, while the both of us floating on sight. Breezy.
That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot. That breeze making me sweat, making me feel so hot.
Back in the Badlands, worse than you've had, man. Girl, she's a has-been, sick, need a aspirin. 911 spin, turbo twin, grip your friend. Tell her get in, mystic party just starting and we never in. All gas, no brakes, full sin. Love to watch the thing bend. Sunset as we coast down the coast, hope it never ends. Paying dividends, play it back, letting it spin. No such thing as just friends. Yeah, coming with a cost if you wanna wear that crown. Jokers ain't the boss, ace fool, play the clown. Little bit of ratchet comes out with the sound. Don't wait around, time is right now. Yeah, she won with the rhythm and she bout to bust it down, bust it down, bust it down. Breezy, breezy, breezy.